Talking about Instagram for business. For anyone building a business on social media, this is your jam. Instagram is such a beautiful platform for building your message, for building your voice, and for really reaching anyone in the world that has an Instagram account. You're not limited to an X amount of friends or followers. When you have the right methods, you can connect with anyone across the globe that has an Instagram account. So we're going to go over the basics because I really feel like when you have a firm foundation, then the sky is the limit for you. What I love doing in my day-to-day is I help network marketers and entrepreneurs become marketing ninjas. I really feel like marketing is a superpower that anyone and everyone should conquer. It opens so many doors and it absolutely explodes your business. And so we're going to really be thinking in a marketing mindset when we're going through Instagram. So I'm going to do a little screen share with you guys. Let me get this all pulled up. I think it will make so much more sense. Go. All right, perfect. So you should, fingers crossed, be able to see my screen share of my phone and my Instagram. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you behind the scenes and go as we show. So it makes more sense because I know some people are visual learners, some people are audio learners. I like to just roll it all into one. So one is to start at the very beginning because I feel like you've got to have a firm foundation or a firm front door when you're working Instagram for a business. So what I want to talk about is getting that account set up the right, powerful way. And I do really, really highly recommend that you guys go ahead and have a business account. I have tested it every way known to man. I've done personal, business, all sorts of ways to really test the different myths out there. And I have seen, as of the time of this recording, I have seen zero difference in reach in a business versus a personal. But the business account, you guys, gives you so many bells and whistles and analytics that you really, for free, by the way, that you really can't pass this up. So let me just show you what I mean when I say analytics, numbers, all of those things that can tell you what's working, what's not working, if you need to pivot. So I'm going to go up into the upper right-hand corner real fast. If you see those 3 slashes, and I'm just going to give you a really quick insight of insights. It's that top option there. So let's look when I say insights and as I talk about them throughout the training, this is what I mean. This is what's available to you in an Instagram business account that you don't have in a personal account. All right, so we can look here, and this is going to be a 7-day snapshot of my activity. It's going to show me what my content has created for me, right? What kind of bundle of people that my content has created. So it shows you that I've had almost 600 profile visits, almost 30 clicks on my website, which, hello, that is so important. I've only had 1 email click because we just updated that recently. We had a different button at the time. And then we come into discovery, and you can see how many people are discovering me, like finding me via my hashtags. So this is a really important number. So in the last 7 days, almost 20,000 people have found me via my content and hashtags and stories. And I want to talk to you about how to get the same type of funnel coming for you. Real quick look over as well. You can look at going to the second little tab there. You can see your content for the last 7 days, how that's doing and what kind of impressions. Also, you've got your stories here, you guys, and then you can also go into your audience and see what kind of growth. So we see I've had 71 new followers in the last 7 days. You can see where they're from. You can see age range. You can see gender. Why is this important? Because you guys, we're going to go into it. You should have a very specific niche, right? You should have that one person, that ideal customer, that ideal business partner, that ideal client that you're crafting messages to. So you should really know these demographics for them. So this works out really well for me because my ideal woman, my ideal client, without me going too deep, she is 40-ish. She is fabulous. She is a she's a woman. She is based in the U.S. more than likely for myself. And okay, so if I look at my demographics, my content is converting where I want it to. If you look at the age range there, if you look, I'm 85% women. I mean, it really helps me know, do I need to make some changes, or am I hitting those people that I'm targeting to when I'm creating that message? And we're going to go more into that. And we're just starting at the beginning, but I wanted you to see what I meant when I'm talking about your insights. So, rolling forward, let's get going. I feel like it's super important that you understand your bio in Instagram. it is your front door. So when I talk to people and do trainings, I love helping. I love helping people level up on Instagram. It's a true joy of mine to see that spark. But when I talk to people about that, I really want you to visualize that your Instagram profile is your front door, right? So it is that place in your home, where people come in the front door, the nicer living room where things are all tidied up. It's where people are going to have that first look and they decide if they want to become a follower or not. And when we go into a little bit later, the buy cycle of Instagram, you really want to, here's your goal. You want to connect with people who aren't following you yet, convert them to followers, the right followers. You want to convert those followers into engaged followers to where they are more really truly a tribe with you, meaning they're engaging, they're liking, they're commenting, they're sharing, they're excitedly consuming your content. And then those engaged followers in my personal buy cycle, you want them to truly become tribe to where they are buying, joining, consuming, recommending. They are creating income into your funnel. And so that's really where your mindset should be. So let's get into what is a powerful bio. So you can see mine here, and I'm going to walk you through the breakdown of it because it is a bit different. If you look, you really don't see my first name. And so people, that's a lot different than maybe Facebook or Pinterest or your website, all right? So where you see Marketing Ninja Instagram tips, that is where most people have their name. So by default on Instagram, that is going to be your name. If you don't change it, it will be the name that you signed up for. And that is searchable. So if you are on Instagram right now, or if you're on your phone and you want to go to Instagram, and if you put in a search like Marketing Ninja or Marketing Instagram or Instagram tips, if you put any combo of this here, I'm going to pop up. I'm going to show up. So I really want you to switch your mindset and potentially think about using more searchable terms in your Instagram right here, that handle area, because it will help bring more people to your front door. It's definitely a personal choice. It's a personal option, but that's why mine might look different than yours. Below that, you'll see my very first line, and it's how I introduce myself to you guys. I turn network marketers into marketing ninjas. So I tell you what I do. And it's really important that you tell people what you do. So when you're creating that bio, you need to at least have a line that says, hey, I help people do this. Whatever that is for you. There's no way I can list everything that all of us amazing women do in this group, but you need to be very, very clear. You need to narrow it so far down because you need to be talking to that one person that you help so that when they see this, they're like, yes, I need some of that. That is me. Follow, and they're going to start scrolling and consuming. I tell a little bit more about myself in my bio. I let people know that I host a podcast. I'm a host of the Sexy Systems for Success. I let them kind of know a little quirk about me. I feel like I'm a solopreneur in the MLM world. And then what I do here is I do mention my other account. So I want to make mention here. You do see a hashtag in my bio and you see a mention. Here's the deal. Unless there is a purpose for your hashtag and mention, hashtags are not searchable. So meaning, if you go to Sexy Systems for Success, you're going to see posts that I have posted with that hashtag, but you're not going to see my bio. So using hashtags in a bio does not make you searchable. The reason that I use them in this instance is because that hashtag does lead to my post. It's my hashtag that I created for the podcast. Then I also mention my Online with Meagan account for social validation. So if you look, this is a much larger account. This is an account that I use primarily for my business. It's got, just a lot of my different resources. It's got a lot of my different posts and my content, but it's got a lot more followers. So I just want people to see that for that social validation, because this account that I'm using for an example is what I'm kind of growing as proof of people of what's possible. So I started a new account using everything that I teach in Instagram. So using all of my tips and my tricks and everything from my courses, and I'm growing this account to show people it doesn't matter. And here's what's so exciting. It does not matter the size of your Instagram, okay? You could absolutely explode your business with 500 followers on Instagram if you know the right methods. And so if you saw and if you remember when we looked at my insights, this quote unquote baby account with just over 1,500 people gets about 40,000 impressions a week from the hashtags and from using the powerful tips that I'm teaching you guys. So I hope that that really gets you excited and pumped up to get consistent in your Instagram, no matter what the size is, because size is irrelevant. All right, you just need the skills. Don't get overwhelmed. So we talked about using, maybe the name replacement because that's searchable. Maybe you get really, creative and get people funneling in there because I get lots of followers just from that. You want to tell people exactly what you do, no confusion, say what you do, know what you do, and get it out there. If you're going to use hashtags or mentions, remember they are not searchable, but they can be used maybe for some sort of social validation because they are clickable. And then what I like to tell people as well is if you remember, you are allowed one link. So in your bio, you get to add a link into your Instagram. So I think it's really important that you tell people what is that link about, right? Because we're coming to your front door, your profile, we're deciding our vibe about you, we're deciding to stay or not. And if I just see a kind of a naked link, I don't know where that's going to take me. I don't know you that well yet, right? We're assumed that we're going to get pitched or whatever. So I think it's a really good idea to give a little blurb about what does your link do? What does it mean? So if you see I've got my arrow pointing down, and I let them know that this link is about them. That's why I kind of use, there's a freebie, there's a blog, there's more. Maybe you use the word community, group, but let them know why this link is a benefit to them so that they feel comfortable clicking on that, checking it out, all right? And there are lots of things that you could use for that link. There's linktree.com. I like link in profile. You could use a landing page on your website. Here's one thing, because I do love helping network marketers. Network marketers, for you, I would highly suggest that this is not a replicated site. So Instagram is not the place for hard sells. It's not the place for buy now, join now, promos. It's not in your face. It's not pushy, okay? So you really need to be a smart marketer, a marketing ninja, and really give the value first. Think about your customer. Serve first and foremost. So what can you put there that serves them? A freebie, an offer, a blog, a recommendation. Sorry about that, you guys. And technical difficulties. But what can you really put into that link? All right. So that's the importance of a bio. You guys go get it cleaned up, because if your bio is not powerful, strong, and clear, then the people that you're going to have funneling to you from these next tips, they're not going to know if this is the right place for them. And the percentage of them staying around and clicking follow are going to be a lot lower than if you've got this powerful bio going. All right, so you're going to get into that business account, and I've got a PDF for you guys, so just so that you know, we're going to have some resources, and I've got a little breakdown that is super simple that's going to walk you through how you create a business account and or flip your personal account to a business account. So I think in that instance, it's easier to have a checklist, so I've created that for you guys. It's going to be here, but really simply just so that you know, to have a business account on Instagram, you do have to have it linked to a business account on Facebook. So if you've already got an existing business account, that's perfect. If you don't have an existing business account, I work with lots of clients, you guys, that go ahead and they create the business Instagram and it creates a business Facebook account, and they just don't ever publish or really do anything on that business account. They don't drive traffic or anything. It's just a page that is there. They don't grow it. Some of them have even unpublished it. The option is yours, but you don't have to specifically grow a Facebook business page, but you do have to have one to convert. Just for as of the time of this training, that's something that Instagram does require. So business account, got your profile set up. Let's get into content creation, because that's really important, and I know that stumps a lot of people. A lot of people just hit that wall. They're like, they get to Instagram, the vibe is different, everything looks different, it feels different. You see these beautifully curated feeds, I'm talking about, like beautifully paneled, and all the aesthetics are just perfect, and it's like, ain't nobody got time for that. I feel so overwhelmed. I feel so inadequate. I always say Instagram is the place to make you feel inadequate in the world. But here's the deal. People want to connect with your truth and your voice, right? And your passion. So I need you to get really, really focused on staying in your lane, which also means in your Instagram feed. So when we talk about content creation, what's really going to help you is you need to be clear on your message, on your niche market, especially on Instagram. On Instagram, if you're not talking to one specific person, if you're not crafting content for one specific person, and then you're talking to none. You're going to get lost in the noise. People aren't going to know if you're a good fit. So it's going to be double helpful for you to really craft that avatar. I know you've heard this before, that your avatar, your tribe, your ideal client, business partner, customer, but you've got to get her so specific, her, him. You've got to get that person so specific so that every time you're creating content, you're talking to them. You're talking singular. I really want to see you talking, like using the word singular, like you, have you, or do you, and really talking to that one person so very consistently. When you're doing that, you're going to know what to say. You're going to know what to craft, because why? You're going to talk to her pain points. You're going to talk to her pleasure points. You're really going to plug into her mindset so that she can know, trust, and like you, to know that what you have to offer might be a good fit, right? She can know this is a really good possibility for her. And then you can go deeper in the relationship in stories, which we're going to get into. But always be creating for your niche market consistently. People have to see congruency, especially on Instagram. Things move fast. Messaging is a little bit different. If you have congruency, which means that repetitive message, then your trustability and your likability factor go through the roof. Not only that, you guys, when you have congruency, what you post becomes so much easier because you're recycling the same message to them, right? You're repackaging, recycling. They need to continually see that consistency with you, and it really makes your content creation so much easier because you're staying in that same sweet spot. So make sure that you're not all over the place, because especially in business, I understand that we're all multi-passionate, or at least I know I am. I'm multi-passionate. There's a lot of things that I love. There's a lot of parts of my business that excites me. There's a lot of part of my life, but I've learned on Instagram, I really have to bring it in. I really have to bring it more tunnel vision and realize to keep the main thing. I do show pieces of my life in all the different areas of things that I'm passionate about, but I tend to do that more in stories, because stories is where we can go in a deeper relationship with our existing followers. So on your timeline, really stay concise. It's going to help you on your content. Let's get into the exciting part of this training, you guys. You want to? Let's get into hashtags. So the reason, this is another reason I wanted to use, remember, this is my baby account. It's got over, barely 1,500. But I really wanted to use this one, and currently, specifically, I'm going to go ahead and click on a post. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm clicking on a post here. This was from, I think it was Wednesday. So I have 1,700 followers, and we have almost 1,000 likes here. So here's another benefit of the business profile, you guys. Let's click on the insights. All right, so before I open it up, this is the first thing that's going to show you, and then we can expand this. But if you look, 971 likes, we have 29 comments, 66 people shared this to their story. That's what that little airplane means. 66 people sent this to their story. 126 people saved this, and this post reached over 11,000 people. So do you see what I'm saying when I say you can have 500 people following you? It's irrelevant when you know how to use hashtags. So this is just, if you have the business account, you can really go in. If you look, I want you to look under impressions. Do you see the first line is from hashtags? So from me using my niche specific hashtags that talk to my account, my followers, and the content, they're very, very on voice for my brand. I was able to reach 11,264 people because I got into the top areas of most of my hashtags. So I want to show you that to say hashtags are extremely important. So let's go into that. How do you use hashtags on Instagram? So you are allowed to use up to 30 hashtags, and I highly recommend that, yes, you use all 30 hashtags. I know there's some varying opinions out there about hashtags, but let me tell you, I research everything. Like, I'm an Insta nerd and I'm proud of it. And I really play with the numbers, and I've tried it every way from 7 to 11. And I'm telling you, Instagram says you can use all 30. Use all 30 because each one is like a mini funnel. So when you're selecting what hashtags to use, here's where it gets a little bit different. I know it would be amazing if I could tell you, hey, you should use these hashtags and they're going to be amazing. But here's the deal. Your voice, your target audience, your business, and the content that you're delivering is going to be different than everyone else here. And your hashtags need to be a representation of your personal brands, the content of that particular post, and your ideal target market, right? So it's a mix of those three things. And I use a, sorry about that, guys. I use a method I'm going to tell you guys about, a mix of how I use them, but we're going to use all 30. You're going to have to start getting in there and playing with hashtags. So what I really suggest, because this is this kind of intro to business and hashtags itself, I could talk to you for 2 hours. What you need to start doing is looking at people that are maybe a complimentary account to you, or maybe even a competitive account. Look at other accounts that do things similar and start researching their hashtags, because all I want you to do is find 3 or 4 hashtags that you feel like are a good fit for your wheelhouse. And I want you to take those 3 or 4 hashtags, and I want you to go into Instagram, like right here. We're going to go here. I want you to go into Instagram, and I want you to enter them. So I'm going to pretend like I am researching. Oh my goodness, if I could type better, that would help, wouldn't it? I'm researching the hashtag boss chick. Let's say I found it. I'm like, this looks like it's pretty good. So the first thing I would want you to do is go ahead. If you look, it pulls up. Click on that hashtag feed. So what I want you to notice here is it literally has a feed. Do you see this? So it looks just like your Instagram feed, but Boss Chick itself has a dedicated feed, and you can choose to follow it. You can just click follow, and you can follow a hashtag. But as you're researching hashtags, I would want you to come and look. I would want you to scroll through, and I would want you to see, is this a match for the content you're creating? Is this a match for your ideal, target market? Is this a match for your voice? If it is, this is something that I would write down, and then I would go further. So let's look at related. This is where you find the magic. Once you start researching a hashtag that is a good fit, you can kind of follow the rabbit hole under related. So if we look here, there are lots of related hashtags. There's women business owners, there's small business owner, biz owner, there's fempreneur. So maybe fempreneur stands out. So I would want you to click on that and do the same thing. Look for a scroll. Does this look like something that fits with your brand? Does this look like something where your ideal people are hanging out? If so, great, that's another good hit. So you can see where I'm going. And then fempreneur gave me more related. Solopreneur, women who lead. So your hashtag research initially will take some time because you really want to look at all the options. You want to get a good catalog of hashtags to use because you're going to use these in conjunction with hashtags that are specific to your content or to your picture, right? Or to your message that you're putting out in that particular post. So you do want to mix. Here's a really good formula that I teach in my course, and I think it's so important. And it works really well for me, and see how it works for you. You don't want to be using, predominantly, you don't want to be using the large hashtags, you guys. So you might think, oh my gosh, Boss Babe, that looks like an amazing feed. My perfect person's there. And Boss Babe has, I think it's over like 3.5 million uses in the feed. And so that just means the feed is just rapidly going. You're going to get no traction there. So what I really suggest on your hashtags as you're creating them and making your list is I do a mix of like 15, 10, 5. So you want 15 micro hashtags. Micro hashtags are going to be hashtags who have less than, I would do less than 100,000, especially if you're just starting out. So if you've got a brand new account, you're just now using hashtags, you're growing your followers, you want to stay somewhere where you can hit the top posts of each hashtag. So I would say you're going to do about 15 micro and then about 10 medium hashtags, which might be up to 750,000 maybe, and then 5 large hashtags. So 15 micro, 10 medium, 5 big hashtags if you want, and start playing around with that. As your account grows and as your followers grow, then maybe you start using more of the medium, right? You start bumping up. But again, as I just said, ideally, you want to really show up in the hashtag feed in the top 5, or in the top 9, I'm sorry, in the top 9 of each one. And you're not going to be able to do that in a feed that's just moving entirely too fast. So that's going to be your hashtags. We've got the bio, and all of these things are things that you are ever growing, right? As your business evolves, maybe you need to change the bio, excuse me, or change your hashtags, or change whatever that is. But speaking still on hashtags, here's how I particularly use them that might be helpful for you. So if we go into, let's go back into this one. So if we go into my post here, you can see that the hashtag is not in the body, right? So my hashtag is not up here in my main feed. To me, in my opinion, and the polls that I take, people say that looks spammy, and it's not a good aesthetic. There's a better way to do it. So what I do is, if you look, I'm down here in my comments. So here are mine right here in the comments. What I do is immediately I get my content ready to post. So I go ahead and I get the wording and I get the picture. I've got it right before I'm about to post it, so I've got it right before I submit. And then I run over and I grab my hashtags. I copy and paste my hashtags from my notepad, because why? I keep a library of hashtags. I copy and paste them from my notepad, get them ready so that the second that I hit submit on this post, the second this post hits my feed, I can come in and comment with my 30 hashtags. Because you've got to get those hashtags on there as quickly as possible, within seconds. Because if you don't get the hashtags in there within the first few moments of a post posting, you're not going to get the searchability. Because they are time stamped, they are time related to the time of the post. Meaning, if I posted a post 30 minutes ago and I thought, oh crud, I didn't get my hashtags on there, like I completely forgot. If I go back now 30 minutes later, it's not going to refresh my post because of the hashtags. The post is still going to have a life of 30 minutes. Those hashtags are going to still show up as if they were 30 minutes, and I've lost that opportunity really to get into that sweet spot of searchability. So I do put them in the comments immediately after I post. So I hope that helps you as you start growing your hashtags. That's how you get discovered. Those are your search funnels. Absolutely use all 30. Use niche specific and content specific and brand specific, so you're really getting the right people onto your timeline. And the last thing I want to hit in this training is followers. How in the world do you get followers? Instagram has changed so much in even in the past few months. This is one of the fastest moving platforms as far as evolving and things changing. And anyway, it's changed overnight. So as of right now, the way it is hashtags have really, they are great for content, but it used to be, even a year ago, you could create a really good post, get those really strong hashtags up there, and you could just really sit back and wait, because the followers would just funnel in, and even the content interaction would funnel in, and that still is pretty true. But on followers, you can't sit back, post, and pray, right? You have to get proactive. You're building a business. Am I right or am I right? And you need to connect with your tribe. That's so essential. So for you to really get those followers that become raving fans, you got to get your behind out there. And this luckily goes back to your hashtags. Let me tell you or show you what I mean. So let's just go back. So remember, we had Fempreneur. let's say Fempreneur is absolutely one of mine that I've decided it's on brand, it's on message. This is where my tribe is hanging out. It's one of those ones that I'm using on my content. What you have to do to really get visible and to get people coming to your front door and your profile is you've got to go into that feed. Okay. So what I suggest is spending some time every day that you have decided to work your Instagram, right? Because you need to have a growth plan. What does that look like for you? Do you want to work your Instagram 3 to 5 times a week? Do you want to work it every day? Like, what is that thing where are you going to stay consistent so that you have a path to your goal? But whatever that looks like for you, on those days that you grow your Instagram, you're going to have to get out there. All right. So you're going to go to those hashtags where your peeps are hanging out, and I need you to interact. You're going to want to go to those top 9 posts. Now, if you remember, I said you want to be in that sweet spot of those top 9 posts. Here's why. Because this is what people do. You want to go into those top 9 posts of about 9 to 10 of your hashtags, and you want to interact. That means you want to like, you want to comment, and potentially even follow. Excuse me for 1 second. You want to like, comment, and follow good fits. What I suggest is if you're going to follow someone, let's pretend here. Let's say I'll look at this one. I'll look at the picture. I love the picture. I love the Chanel shoes. She looks just like my tribe. Let's say I read the messaging and I decide this is someone I want to follow. This is someone I would love to follow me back. What I would do is I would like this photo. I would comment thoughtfully on this photo. I would follow her, and I would go to her timeline and like a couple more. That's really going to stand out to her. It's really going to show me in a block. It's going to show Meagan, or instead with Meagan, liked 2 or 3 of your photos. She commented and she followed you. So this is going to up my chances of her coming and checking out my timeline and deciding to follow me back. So this is an investment of time, absolutely, but you're growing a business. So I suggest that you spend about 30 minutes a day on however many days per week you've decided to be proactive and grow your Instagram account. Again, that's completely up to you. But that's a great way to find followers, is to go interact on those hashtags, right? So interact on the hashtags that you've decided are great for your brand. Another place to find followers are going to be on those big accounts, those public profile, those public accounts, those maybe celebrity accounts or business accounts of businesses, that are a complement to what you do. So maybe, here's just a really broad example. I'll give you 2 to think outside the box. Maybe if you're in wellness in some sort, maybe you're a coach or you have products or mindset, whatever that is. So you're in wellness of some sort. And so you're thinking outside the box and you're like, hey, my ideal chick, she loves Lululemon because she loves the luxury. She loves spending money on herself, which means she's going to spend money on my products or opportunities. And so you're thinking, she likes Lululemon, or at least that, I like that she does. So maybe Lululemon's followers are a really good complement to your brand. So if you went to Lululemon and you went to their followers, that would be a great place to then, the same thing, go through there, check out their timeline, if they're a good vibe, like a couple, comment on a couple, and follow. And a reverse might be if you're in beauty or skincare of some sort, then for you, maybe you're thinking, you think of a big brand, and I'm not really good on beauty here, but maybe you're thinking like Ulta, Sephora, maybe you're thinking Anastasia, Beverly Hills, something like that. Those bigger luxury cosmetic brands that might be where your ideal target market is hanging out. Maybe if you're a mindset person and you love coaching, manifestation, and all of that, maybe Gabby Bernstein, maybe that's where they're hanging out. But I want you to think of those big public celebrities, brands, etc. Their followers could be a really great fit for your personal brand. And so I want you to get out there and connect as well. So I know this was kind of condensed, but I really wanted you to understand that you can begin building your business on Instagram right this second, irregardless of how many followers that you have, and you can make a massive impact. You just have to have the bones in place. So you got to get that bio down, clear, crisp. Get your messaging down to a niche market. Talk to that one person again and again and again with consistency and congruency. Use hashtags, all 30 that are specific for you. Here's what I'm going to warn you against. Don't go just copy someone's. Don't be like, oh my gosh, she does so well. Let me just go copy hers. Because I'm telling you, There's no one else out there who has the exact same message, exact same branding, exact same target market, exact same post content, right? So you're going to get misfires and you're going to get things that are not a perfect fit for you. Spend the time. Just like if you're going to go buy jeans, get that perfect fit, girlfriend. Don't get them too baggy or too tight, all right? You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are going to make a big difference in your success. The last thing that I'm just going to really hit on very briefly, we won't go in depth, but is stories. Instagram stories. I know you guys probably see that everywhere because Instagram stories is so important. That's where you really want to go deeper, in your relationship. So stories can absolutely drive more people to you. They can. You can use hashtags there. You can tag accounts. You can use locations. So you can drive new traffic via stories. With the smart marketer, when you get into stories, that is where you can show more pieces of yourself. That is where you can be more personable. That is where you can be imperfect. That is where you can be real. That is where you can talk more about those things that you offer without being salesy. You can do it in a storytelling mode that really funnel people to you. So you really want to be using stories to build a deeper relationship with those people who are following you. I feel like that's one of Instagram's magic pieces that other platforms just can't replicate, not even Facebook. And I know Facebook has the stories. They haven't caught on like Instagram. Think about Cardi B's rants. Think about, I mean, there are just some things on Instagram that you just can't get anywhere else. So get your face on Instagram stories, telling those stories, letting people see behind the scenes. Maybe you show them how you start your mornings. Maybe you show them your gym bag. Maybe you have a mama moment, but let them really connect with you so that they can feel a part of your tribe, so that they feel more confident moving forward. Because I will tell you, you will get a majority of your sales, conversions, whatever you want to call them, a majority of your marketing through Instagram stories because the relationships were built there. I teach a method, you guys, that's literally a ABCD, like step 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is how I build every single story. And there's a beginning, there's middle meets, and there's an end, and that end is always, always, always a call to action, you guys. Call to action. And that's so important. And it's done in such a storyteller mode that I have been loving the natural success that's occurring. So it's not only building my business, but it's also building relationships. So it's not going to be a one-time business. There's going to be a business in growth. So I hope that this gives you a lot of excitement about what's possible for you. This was a very quick, because I want to get you up and I want to get you rolling and I want to get you into success and I want to get you onto a platform that maybe had you feeling a little bit insecure and overwhelmed. I do have, which is so exciting, I've got a 5-day, it's just a mini 5-day Instagram course, Instagram bootcamp, that goes deeper on all of these things. It's completely free. And I'm going to drop that information for you guys. I'm going to get it to you if you're interested. But that might be a next good step for you guys so that you can continue the growth, continue the momentum, and continue your footing so that you have opened up a brand new sales channel for your business. All right, I hope you guys have loved hanging out as much as I have. I love being a part of this amazing, wonderful group. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them, and I look forward to bringing you another training soon. Bye, guys.